There's Maggie. She wants to play. But right now I'm going to take a little tour of the studio. And we're going to walk down the path. And today it's a little bit breezy, but it's one of those beautiful, beautiful spring days here in Pennsylvania. And just today, and since everything looks so nice and green, we'll first take a look behind the studio, see what's going on back here. We have all sorts of wildflowers and herbs. I even have a little bit of vegetables going on here. We have another vegetable garden also in the back. And now we're just going to kind of swing around here. And we're going to take a little stroll over to the door that leads into the studio. And if you came today, this is what you'd see when you entered. And we'll just take a look and see what's on some of the looms. On this loom, I'm working with some cotton, as well as some hand-dyed and hand-spun wool, working on some placemats. And over here is the area where I do most of my photography. And on the mannequin is a shawl that's going to be a gift for a friend. Lots of yarn. Over here, my skein winder's ready, and you can see lots of yarn that hasn't been dyed yet as well. And my Mumbo Jumbo big warping mill. And on this loom, I just finished putting it on. It is tencel. This one's kind of a turquoise blue. These will be some shawls and shawl coats. And we're going to move up over here. Nice bay window to get to look at, especially on a day like today. And over here, I'm preparing a loom. I'm just getting ready to start threading the heddles. I did a few. And that's basically what's happening in the studio today. We'll do a little bit of back up here, and I'll slowly back up as you can get another view of the working space that I get to hang out in most of the time, but not every day. And now we're going to enter the studio. We'll step inside. And you get a little bit of a view, and Maggie's here as well. Maggie's everywhere. There's a little bit of a scan of the studio. And I'll go back again. And we're going to start over here. And in the corner, I have lots and lots of warps ready. Some of those are hand dyed and some are not. And then I have a few things that I'm getting ready to ship out. That's also my photo station. And we're drying some skeins of yarn. I also dye yarn for people. That one happens to be bamboo and linen. We have lots and lots of yarn on shelves. I also have a lot more yarn up in the attic too, or the storage area. Some has already dyed and some not already dyed. I'm going to slowly move over to take a look at what's on this loom. I'm doing a little experimenting with waffle weave. I had lots and lots of different colors I put on the warp. It's been a really interesting experience to see what happens. So some of that's still on the loom, and I also have some samples that have been washed. So I'm kind of checking out to see how it all looks. And now we're going to step on over to another loom. This is the loom I use most of the time to do some of the tencel, and what's on the warp right now happens to be some cotton tencel blend, and I'm weaving with tencel. This yarn, I'm not sure if we can see all of them there. Yeah, there's the how much I've done already. I'm almost done. These are going to be shawl coats and ponchos, and maybe some fabric to make maybe a top for myself. We'll see. And then if we step back here, we can see my very large warping mill. They don't make those anymore. If you can find one, go for it. And then we have my model, Willow, who doesn't have any clothing on that's been hand woven. She is dressed though, in black. We have a little sewing station. And then over in this area, this is where I have a smaller warping mill and all of the clothing that I weave. And now we're gonna again take another view. This is where I have another skein winder. And one of my students came in and she warped this loom, but she hasn't had time yet to weave on it. It's actually her loom. So if you wanna bring a loom here, we can warp it. There's some yarn that still needs to be dyed. And then over here, let me turn the light on. I forgot to turn that light on. This is another loom that I have warped to do my little motifs. Since it's getting into wintertime, we have snowflakes. But I can do all sorts of things. So if you're interested in patterns, I have lots of patterns. That's the door I walked in. And here's the other part of the studio. So I'm gonna again slowly come back, hopefully not make anyone too dizzy, and step back, and I'm kind of backing out. And Maggie she's one of the two studio dogs. She's the one that spends more time. Scout sometimes comes in. So just to let you know, this is the studio. And just thank you so much for joining me on this very brief tour. And even though it was sunny outdoors when I did the outdoor tour, it is a little rainy right now today.